Welcome back. We're speaking with Bernard Kouchner, the French foreign minister. When French President Nicolas Sarkozy says it is either the Iranian bomb or the bombing of Iran,
yes,
is such rhetoric,
this
is such
is
a
not the sentence. We have not to be fixed
Is that
at
helpful?
that level. We have to imagine another issue that an atomic bomb or bombing the Iranian. We have to work. We are working. This is diplomacy and politics. We are working to avoid this threat, to avoid this world danger. That's why he said so, not to threaten the Iranian.
And have you made any headway with your meetings with your Iranian counterpart here in New York? Did you have to apologize to him because of those remarks?
No, apologize was not the word at all. I told them that it has been badly interpreted because I was not in favor of war. I said the worst should be war. Please, don't make another misunderstanding. I'm not in favor of peace. I'm not in favor of war. I'm in favor of peace. I've been devoted to peace since 40 years in my life, including in the Arabian country, mainly in the Arabian area. Clearly, I was not in favor of the worst, and I said the worst should be war, and we have to avoid the war by diplomacy.
You were very much the architect of the humanitarian intervention doctrine.
I rather prefer this evocation.
And you did support
souvenir.
The 2003 invasion of Iraq on that
No,
premise?
no, and no. Another time, read the text, please. My paper in Le Monde, front page, was neither war nor Saddam Hussein. I was not in favor of war. I was in favor of the international community involvement to get rid of a tyrann. I was not in favor of war, and I was just out of Kosovo, which was the example of the involvement of the international community. Don't make second mistake. I was not. The title and inside, read it.
No, my understanding was...
I said, not on understanding. You cannot understand what you have not read. It was, there is certainly no weapon of mass destruction. It has been proved by the agency, etc. So I was in favor of an international community involvement and not the way it has been done, war to Iraq.
So you were not in favor of any military means, even if that meant bringing humanitarian relief to the Iraqis?
Oh, no, no. On the contrary, I was against the sanction on Iraq.
When you look at the mayhem now in Iraq, the situation there, and you know the country very well, would you say it was all worth it?
The way it has been done, this is not a success, this is a big failure, of course, I know.
You say it was not worth it.
But it was exactly the countries that we were proposing to them. International, UN involvement, etc. And certainly a big mistake has been done in terms of nation building. I know that, of course. We told them, with my good friend Sergio de Mello and the others, of course.
And so do you think the illegal invasion of the country, of Iraq, illegal because it wasn't sanctioned by the UN Security Council, does that constitute a war crime in your opinion?
I don't know, but it was certainly not the way I wanted by legal means to intervene, to interfere, certainly not.
Looking at the position of the Iraqi Prime Minister, Nouri al-Maliki, it seems to be very tenuous. Do you think that his government can survive?
I don't have to comment because when I visited Iraq, yes, a lot of people, ministers and others, were protesting against, but this is not to me to interfere on the designation of a Prime Minister. I saw the Prime Minister here in the UN and we had an excellent talk, and if I can, France and European Union work to help the Iraqi people, I will do that.
And you were recently in Iraq. You met with Iraqi officials. Do you have a feeling that the continued American military presence is actually galvanizing the insurgency?
Certainly not. But they have to produce a calendar for the withdrawing of their troops. They have to, but they don't have to leave, certainly right now, immediately. All the world need a strong Iraqi armies and a strong Iraqi police. Because the situation is absolutely insecure, more than insecure, impossible to support.
So, if I understand correctly, you think the Americans should leave sooner rather than later? That France is not in favor of an open-ended US presence?
It depends on the situation on the ground and the situation of developing the training of the army, etc. But they certainly have to withdraw their troops. But the calendar, the agenda, I don't know about for the time being. It depends on a lot of problems to be solved.
Well, you served in the Balkans.
I did.
Do you think there's a risk in Iraq of a Balkanization, a disintegration
Already
of that country?
Done. More or less.
Where is it headed to?
Look, the three groups, main groups, there are others, but the Kurds, but the Sunnis and the Shiites. I mean, of course, there is a problem in between the three communities, and that's the worst of the consequences of the war, certainly.
You could see the disintegration of Iraq?
Disintegration is a too large word, but hard problems, big problems, cruel problems, yes.
Can I move on to Lebanon and Syria?
Yes.
Lebanon is obviously at a crossroads, as you well know. Should Lebanon be allowed to find its rightful political equilibrium without the interference of anyone?
I hope so. I hardly hope so. And we were on the good track. We were very happy because the communities restarted to talk to each other, because President Nabi Berri offered an issue and the answer was not bad. And in between wise people like Nabi Berri, Fouad Signora, and the others, the movement of the 14th of March and the movement of the 8th of March, we had a hope. And unfortunately, another crime, another assassination came, and the opening of the parliament was not successful enough, and we have to report. They have to report. This is their country. But this is very painful for the friends of Lebanon, of course. And so now we are waiting for the reopening of the parliament at the end of October. I hope, but I doubt.
Can you see a president being chosen anytime soon?
I hope so. They have to follow the constitutional legality rules. They had, and now they have, but it remains only 2 months. They had 3 months to elect the president on a legal base. So now they are, of course, very anxious. All of the whole population, and Paris, France, we are the friends of all the communities, not only the Christian, not only the Shiite, not only the Muslim, etc.
But at the same time, the US and France have made clear they haven't hidden their support for particular political parties.
No. Another thought. Please, be fair.
Signora, March 14 group.
No, and no. We ask all the communities, 14 parties, to come to France and to have negotiation and an excellent atmosphere, including Hezbollah. So don't say so. We are not in favor of one group against the other. We are in favor of legality. And legality means, and this is of course the movement of the 14th of March, but not alone. It was also Nabi Berri, the president of the parliament. And we were supporting this process. Election on the right day of the right month with the right people.
Do you think there should be a popular universal suffrage to elect the president and parliament indeed?
I hope so. I'm not a Lebanese. So it was on the good track. Another assassination. You're not talking about this assassination. Another attempt for a very good Antoine Ganem. He was part of the meeting in France. He was a determined activist for peace. He wanted, with the others, with the Shiites, with the Sunnis, they were together. They were, let's say, moving on the same way. And unfortunately, some criminals, another time in Lebanon, stopped the process of peace. We want a democratic, a sovereign, and a unity of Lebanon. This is very easy. Don't believe that there is blackmail and sort of plot everywhere. No.
What kind of role do you think Syria is playing in Lebanon?
I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I want to help the people, and certainly if we can find a way to give them confidence and to avoid the influence of the surrounding. If they are united, the Lebanese, they will be absolutely victorious. I believe that. And I've been working another time for years close to the Shiite in the south. In that time, they were not only unknown, but nobody was aware about what was going on in the southern Lebanon in that time. So I know the Shiite. I know. I was educated by Imam Musa Sadr, educated. We were fellow travelers.
The Bush administration will be hosting a conference in November on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but realistically, and since November is only just around the corner, can we expect anything substantive to come out of this?
Not only we can, we have to. This is a fantastic momentum.
But is the timing auspicious? Because on the one hand, Prime Minister Ehud Olmert is facing very low popular ratings. On the other hand, President Abbas, the Palestinian president, is also facing divisions among his own people. So is this conference really to move along the peace process, or is it to boost the image of the US in the region, perhaps?
Could you, for one time, ask a positive question and not a negative
I'm
question?
a journalist.
Yes, there is a hope. Yes, they are not completely in agreement, because in peace talk and after 40 or 50 years of war and tension and combat and etc., of course this is not completely easy, but this is a fantastic hope, and I hope will not be completely comment on dit, defeated by the reality. No, this is the particular way they are talking to each other, Ehud Olmert and Abu Mazen, with the same words, the same look, the same regard, the same glimpse, etc. There is a sort of real hope, and it will be not the end of difficulties in the Middle East, but certainly it will be a fantastic benchmark on the way to peace.
Mr. Kouchner, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.